All right, let's talk about one of the biggest buzzwords in tech right now. You've definitely heard it, but what on earth does it actually mean? Okay, let's dive in. That's right, we're talking about AI agents. They are absolutely at the center of pretty much every conversation about where AI is headed, and they're often hyped up as the next huge leap forward. But, beyond all the hype, what is an AI agent? How does it actually work? And what makes it any different from a regular old chatbot? That's exactly what we're going to break down right now. To really get this, let's use a simple analogy. I want you to meet Alfred. For the next few minutes, think of Alfred as our friendly guide. And Alfred, well, he's an agent. Now imagine you give Alfred a really simple command, just like this. Since he understands natural language, he gets what you want. But here's the crucial part. He doesn't just act blindly. First, he thinks. So what's really happening here is that Alfred's first move is to come up with a plan. He's reasoning, right? He's breaking your request down into a logical sequence of actions he needs to take.
And to actually pull off that plan, he has to interact with his environment. And in this case, the coffee machine is the specific tool he has available. He knows that to achieve his goal, he's got to use that tool.
And boom, just like that, you get the core concept. An AI agent isn't just a model that can talk to you. It's a whole system built around an AI that can reason, create a plan, and then use tools to interact with the world to get something done, just like Alfred. So, how does an agent actually work under the hood? Well, we can break it down into two main parts. You've got a brain, which does the thinking, and you've got a body, which does the doing.
So this is a really important distinction. The brain is the AI model itself. It looks at the situation and decides what to do. The body is the entire set of tools and abilities it has. An agent can't do something if it doesn't have the right tool for the job. Simple as that.
And what are these brains? Most of the time, they're the large language models you already know, like GPT-4, Llama, or Gemini. It's their incredible ability to understand complex requests and think through problems that makes them the perfect engine for an agent. It's also really important to know that not all agents are the same. They totally exist on a spectrum. On the low end, you have an AI whose output doesn't really have an impact. But as you move up that spectrum, the AI starts making decisions, choosing its own tools, and even running complex multi-step projects all by itself.
This brings us to a really fundamental question. We know the brain is often a language model, so how do we give that text-based brain a set of hands to actually act in the world?
Seriously, think about it. Models like GPT-4 are amazing, but their only output is text. They can't click buttons or send emails or browse the web on their own. So how do we possibly bridge that gap between just generating text and actually taking real action? The answer is surprisingly simple. And yet, it's incredibly powerful. They do it with tools. So tools are basically pre-programmed functions that the agent's brain, that LLM, can choose to call upon. If an agent needs to send an email, developers give it an email tool. If it needs to search the web, it gets a search tool. The LLM's job is to act like a super smart dispatcher, figuring out exactly which tool to use and what to tell it to do. Now, I know this might all sound a bit abstract, but the truth is you've probably already interacted with AI agents without even knowing it. Let's look at a few examples. Your virtual assistant is a perfect example. I mean, when you ask Siri to set a reminder, it's not just understanding your words, it's reasoning that it needs to use the calendar or reminder tool, and then it actually executes that action right there in your phone's environment. And the same goes for a lot of modern customer service chatbots. They're not just answering from a script. They can look up your order in a database, process a return, or open a support ticket by using internal company tools they've been given access to. And here's a really cool emerging example: video games. Instead of those non-playable characters that follow really rigid, predictable scripts, agent-based NPCs can understand what the player is doing, reason about the situation, and generate new, dynamic dialogue and actions on the fly. It makes games feel so much more alive. Okay, we have definitely covered a lot of ground, so let's bring it all together and just summarize the absolute key points of what makes something an AI agent. So it really all comes down to this core loop. First, the agent understands a goal. Second, it reasons and creates a plan. And third, it uses tools to execute that plan and interact with its environment. Goal, plan, action. That's the whole game. And this is exactly why the name is so perfect. It's called an agent because it has agency. It's not just a passive machine that processes information, it's an active participant that can cause change in an environment to achieve an objective. So, as we wrap up, just remember this: agents are what give an AI brain the hands to act. They transform AI from a passive information tool into an active action tool. So, the real question isn't just what we'll ask them to do next, it's how much autonomy we'll be comfortable giving them.